Oh, I'm sorry. I was on mute. Okay. Sorry, guys. I've been talking for all this while.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, all. Okay. Sorry, I was saying that, we are going to build a game. Okay. We call it as guess the number game. Okay. Where computer will think of this number 35 and we will try to guess it. Okay. And the purpose is to, one, practice loops, and second thing is to see how applications are developed, right? You don't build entire application in one day, right? You add one feature, then we come back and we add one more on top of it, then we'll add one more, right? So slowly we will add features on top of one feature, right? That's the purpose. Okay. So we set num equal to 35, and now we want computer to guess it. Okay. So I'll say int of input, right? Guess the number, right? And obviously, if you guess it right, so when do you guess it? When num is same as guess, right? So if guess equal to num, correct? Then you say, okay, um, and in fact, here also what we do is since, okay, initially what we do, we create a structure, right? So we'll say if pass, else pass, and then we come back and add the logic, okay? So what if guess is same as num? If it is same as num, then we come back and say print, okay, um, congrats, right? Congratulations, okay, you got it right, correct? And here, I don't know, my computer got frozen. One sec. Yes. So here I will say print. Sorry, that's incorrect. Right? Simple. Okay. Now when you run this, okay. So if we guess it right, 35, okay, it says you got it right. And if we entered something else, it will say incorrect. Right? Now let's make it uh, uh, repetitive in nature that if you get it wrong, okay, then you can try again. Okay. So here I'll say, sorry, that's incorrect. Please try again. Now, when will it try again? When we put it in a loop. And which all lines of code should be run again? Obviously, this should be done only once, isn't it? This should be done only once. This should be repeated multiple times, correct? Guess the number, right? If you get it wrong, it should repeat, right? So, just give me a second. I need to share the meeting invite. Yeah. Okay. So here you want to try again, right? And these are the lines of code that you want to repeat, right? You want user to repeat this as well. So I will put this under while true, infinite loop. Of course, you want to set the number to 35 only once, right? Number should be set to 35 only once, right? Now all of these will be inside while. Okay. Now when you get it right, that's when you break, right? you don't have to continue. But if you get it wrong, then you have to keep trying again and again and again, right? Okay. Now let's run this and see what happens. Guess the number. I say 45, incorrect. 67, incorrect. 1, incorrect. And the moment I say 35, it says you got it right. Correct? Okay. Now, let's add one more feature, right? So we are building, right? First, we just had one iteration, then we created, multiple iteration. Now let's add one more feature where you are actually giving, you're actually giving hint also, okay, that your number is smaller or greater, right? So if you get it right, this is where you come. But let's say we want to even give a hint, okay? So what we'll do is, so apart from equal to, we have two conditions, that guess would be less than or guess will be greater than. So what if, okay, guess is less than num, okay? Guess is less than num, okay? So if guess is less than num, okay, so it's, okay, we'll say, sorry, that's incorrect, okay? And we'll say, please try again with a, now your guess is lower. That means the number is higher. So we'll say, please try again with a higher number, right? That's the hint, okay? That what you have guessed is lower. Now you try with something which is higher than what you have guessed. And else is the third possibilities where your guess is higher. So we'll say, okay, I'm going to copy this entire stuff. And I'm going to say, try with a lower number, right? Now it makes sense, right? Let's run it. Now if I give 65, okay, so it says try with a lower number. So I will give 25. Now it says try with a higher number. So I say 35. Okay, so it's right. Now let's add one more feature. Okay, that if you get it right, then it should tell you how many attempts did you take. Okay, how many attempts did you take to guess? So attempt declaration, I will do it outside 0. And every time you are doing guess, right? Every time you are doing guess equal to input, it's like an attempt, right? You are trying to guess. So here I will put attempt equal to attempt plus 1, right? Initially it will be 0 plus 1, and then becomes 1 plus 1, so on, as you keep trying to guess this. So I'm saying attempt equal to, right? Attempt plus 1, right? This is as good as saying attempt. So I said, when you have something like this, it's like saying attempt and the sign is interchanged plus 1. That's what it means, right? Okay. Now I'll say you got it right in, okay, so many attempts, right? Now this would be your variable attempt, and we said that we have to make it a format string, right? So you put F here. Now let's run it and see. Guess the number, 45, 25, 35. It should give us 3 attempts, right? Yes, we got it right in 3 attempts. Right? All good? Okay. Now let's make really a game where we don't know which value computer is thinking. Here we have given 35. So we know that, answer is 35 when we are playing for 35. Let's make it truly random number. So you can use random in Python using random module. So we have module called random, which gives us capabilities to handle random numbers. So I'm going to say import random, right? I said import random. Now, what happens is so far, okay, we have not used any module. What is a module? Module is a file, Python file, okay, which has functions. Sorry. Which has functions declared in that file. So far, okay, we've been using many functions, right? Print, input, len, all those functions we use. So all those functions are available, okay, without using any module. So those, okay, see, we have tons of functions, okay. So how Python handles all these functions are in actually three different ways, okay. For if they, okay, so if you are able to download all the, like when we install Python, right? Now if Python installs everything, let's say all the functions, if Python installs all the functions, your download file will run into GBs, right? So what Python says is, okay, I'm going to give you, okay, when we install Python, right? So Python says, I'm going to give you only functions which are mostly used, right? So they, but if you have to use some specific functions, like when we go to data science, okay, NumPy, Pandas, it says, okay, those functions are used in special cases. So those functions will not be available to you in the when the first time when you download it. Next time, okay, if you need them, then you need to download those functions separately. Okay, and we will see that later. Okay, towards the end of Python class, we'll talk about how to do pip install. Using pip install, we are downloading additional functions, okay, for our work. So that is one way, okay, to give you only, let's say, okay, just the number, okay, let's say give you only 1,000 functions. And remaining functions, it has like millions of functions. You pick and choose, right, based on your area. So if you're working in data science, you pick and choose only data science related functions and you leave the rest, right? Okay, so that is one way of doing it. Now, even 1,000 functions which are available, okay, now if all the 1,000 functions are attached to your file, okay, Python file, let's say this is our Python file, correct? Then our program will be very slow. Okay, so like when we type P, right? Let's say here, when we type P, right? It is trying to give us all the functions which are available with P, right? Now, if all 1,000 functions are given, then it will be very slow for us to type and run. So what Python says is, okay, even though I have downloaded 1,000 functions for you, but I will only give you 100 functions which are automatically attached, which are automatically available for you to run, like print, input. But rest of the functions, you have to specifically call it. So random is one such module, okay? Or random is a one such set of functions. Module is nothing but set of functions, okay? Multiple functions. It says random is one such set of functions which are downloaded, okay, on your machine, but not readily available. You have to specifically call, okay? And module is simply a file which has multiple functions. And when we learn functions, we'll also learn to create our own module. Basically, there's a file called random.py. There's a file called random.py in your computer when we install Python, which will have set of functions. So if you want to if you want to call those functions, only those set of functions, you say random, okay, module name dot. The moment you say dot, you see V is for variable, okay, C is for class, okay, and you will have what happened? Okay, so random, right? So these are your functions available, okay, random, random, okay. So these are, so it has set of functions which are, okay, available only when you download them, okay. When you specifically call random and then you say random dot, okay, only then these your functions are available. Now, so you have functions like random dot random, okay. So random function generates values between 0 and 1, okay. So for a minute, what we'll do is we'll move away from this program and we'll see, okay, we'll see how this works, okay. So when I say random, import random, so I'm saying I'm importing a random module. So it's like saying I want to use all the functions of random module. So here if I say print random.random, okay, and when you run P1, okay, it will generate a random value between 0 and 1. You run it again, say it's 0.256, correct? You run it again, it is something else. You run it again, it is something else. Every time you run it, you get a different set of value. So random is a function that randomly generates values between 0 and 1. Okay. Now we have another function called as print random dot random int. So random int generates random integer values. Okay. But we have to give here the range. So I'm saying that I want a random number between 100 and 1000. So you give the lower limit, and in this case, both are inclusive. So when I say 100 comma 1000, I can get 100 also, I can get 1000 also. So it will generate a random integer number between the range that we specify. So now when you run it, you see it is 814. Now you run it, it is 772. So every time you run it, you get a different number. So module is a set of it's a set of functions, right? And generally related functions, you put them in one file. So obviously random module will have related functions, so which are like random int. Okay, you have random between. Okay, so these are different. Okay, functions which are available in random. Okay, maybe when we do later, when we do we'll have a separate section dedicated to modules. Okay, so we'll talk about it. We'll talk about random, we'll talk about time module. Okay, those are important for us to understand. But here, okay, I'll just show you for the first time how to import random. Now, I said there's one way, right? You say import random. Now, when you say import random, all the random functions are available, right? Gets attached to your file. Whether you use it or not, it's available. But let's say you don't want to, okay, call all the functions, right? Obviously, like say if you import 5 modules and each of those 5 modules has 50 functions, unnecessary 250 functions will be attached to your file, which will make your file little slow, okay? So we can even pick and choose. I don't want to import all the functions. I only want to import, let's say, random int. Okay, so I will say from random import random int, right? So you can say random int. Now, when you do like this, okay, random int, now while using it, we don't have to use random dot. You can directly say random int. We don't have to say random dot int because I'm saying from random, give me only random int. So random int is available without using your module name, right? So there are two ways to do it. One, you say import random, then you can use all the functions under random using module name dot function name, module name dot function name, so on. But if you pick only the function, then you can simply call this function without using any module. Okay, so same thing we are going to do here. So I'm going to say from, okay, from random, okay, import random int. And here, okay, in num, I'm going to say random int, okay, 1 comma 100. So I want to generate values between 1 and 100. Okay. Now, as a user, you don't know which value will be in num. This is truly a guessing game. Now, you don't know that, what number num has. Now, let's run this program and see. So, guess the number. Okay, let's guess with 45. Okay, it says guess a lower number. So, the number is actually less than 45. Let's say I put 15. Please, okay, higher number, right? So, higher number would be 25. Okay, again higher number, let's say 35? Higher number. Okay, it is between 35 and 45. Let me say 40. Lower number. So it is between 35 and 40. Is it 36, 37, 38, 39, right? So I say 38. Let's see. Lower number. So it is either 36 or 37. 36. Okay. So it took us 7 attempts to guess. So actual number is 36, right? It took us 7 attempts to guess the number. Clear? Any questions so far? I'm going to move this here. All good, guys? Did you understand what we did here?
But the random integer we are generating that is holding true for like while in the loop. So it
No, we are
doesn't.
not generating in the loop. No, it is outside. So it will be generated once. If we put it in the loop, then it will keep on changing.
Hmm.
We are generating only once. Right? All good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Swapnil. So, Swapnil,
yeah.
so choosing while, how do you make the decision? Can that be not done using for? You said while is for we don't know how many attempts, right?
Correct. So I don't know, right? You can guess it first attempt or you may take 100 attempt to guess, isn't it?
That so the better to go with the while. Okay.
Exactly.
And in terms of any performance issue compared to for versus while, Swapnil?
While will be for will be faster. Okay.
Okay,
It's like
it's
this, right? Now, imagine, right? When you know exactly how many kilometers is your
you have to run. Yeah, yeah.
so for so you don't look left, right. You continuously focus on road, right? You travel and you reach. While is like first day when you're traveling, you'll be looking out, correct?
Yeah.
So while definitely is slow because you're asking a question. You are looking for a condition here. But for loop
Okay.
doesn't have condition, it keeps on. Yeah. So for loop is slightly better, okay, than while loop.
Understood. Thanks, Swapnil.
No problem. Okay, so this is like, yes.
while के बदले में और कुछ लगा सकते हैं क्या?
क्या while?
while के बदले में और कुछ लगा
While के
सकते
बदले
हैं
में क्या लगा सकते हैं?
या
Give
सिर्फ
an
while?
example. No, बदले में मतलब क्या? What do you want to add? Give me an example. See, it's a loop, right? Loop, you have only two options, for loop or while loop. You want to repeat this entire thing. When you want to repeat this entire thing, how can you repeat something? You can repeat only using for loop or while loop. You can use only for loop or while loop. And what else can you use apart from for loop or while loop? You can't, right? There's nothing else you can use. Now, here I can say for I in range 1, 10,000, assuming that, you will not go beyond 10,000. That also you can do while, for loop I in range 1, 1,000. Because anyway, you are using break. Break will work for both for loop and while loop.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Sure. Now there's one more command called continue. Okay. Now here you see, when you say guess the number, I'll say between 1 and 100. Okay, for a minute, what I'll do, I will comment this part and want to demonstrate. Okay, so for demonstration, it's better that we know what's the actual value. We'll come back to it later. So I'm saying guess the number. Okay, and now I know that I'm telling to the user guess the number between 1 and 100. Okay, now now let's say user enters -5 or user enters 200. Now in that case, let's say you don't want to count that as you don't want to count that as an attempt. Okay, so what I will do here, okay, and I'm doing it before attempt equal to plus because I don't want to count if the user enters wrong value. So I'll add one more if, saying if guess is less than 1 or guess is greater than 100. Okay, guess is less than 1, like 0, -1, -2, or guess is more than 100, 101, 102, so on. I will say print, okay, and I'll say here incorrect or invalid, I'll put invalid, okay, attempt or something like this. Okay, now you don't want to count that as an attempt. So I will add something called as continue. What continue does, okay, so there's difference between continue and break. So break will break the loop, right? It will throw you out of the loop. It will break the loop, right? Loop will no longer exist. Continue will not break the loop, but it will take you to the beginning of the loop. The moment you see continue, you will not go further down. You will go back to the beginning of the loop. So it's like this, you are, from your home, you come out and you have to take left, okay, to go to your destination, but you took right. And the moment you realize, oh, this is right, this is not where I want to go, then what happens? You will immediately come back to the beginning point, right, to your home again. Then you will take.
Yeah.
So this is what continue does. Continue, okay, will not continue further. It will take you to the beginning of the loop. Continue will take you wherever you are, it will take you. So if this is where if you encounter continue, continue will take you to the beginning of loop. So you come back here. Okay, so let's run this and see. Okay, so I'm saying guess the number, I'm saying 500. Guess the number 600. Okay, 0. All these are invalid attempt. Now I say 35. So see, it says only one attempt. All the other 3 attempts did not count because I said continue, right? So it came here, check this value, took to the beginning of the loop. Again, you come back, beginning of the loop. So all these were untouched, right? It did not even go there. Only when you give valid number, it went further, right? So
Yes,
this
sir.
is how you use continue. Okay.
So continue is only used to like or transfer the cursor in loops only.
Yes, so break and see, you can use anywhere, okay? But yes, so in this case, continue is used only in loop, both the loops, okay? You can use it in for loop also. So you can use continue in both for loop and while loop, okay? And it will just take you to the beginning, that's all. Okay? Yes. So I'm going to remove this and we'll have this. Okay. So this is like playing game, right? Computer versus human, right? So human is attempting to guess and, computer is thinking, right? Computer has the number, correct? Now, can we change it to make computer play against computer? Okay, so I will move this to, okay, here. I'm going to say it is computer versus computer, right? I mean, computer versus human. Okay, this is what we are saying, right? Now, can we make it computer versus computer? So computer should also think. So where are we thinking? This is where we are thinking, right? So instead of guess equal to int of input, okay, I will say guess equal to randint. Okay. So let's play this game now. It took 152 attempts. We took only 7 attempts, right? So 7 means maybe you can say 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 attempts we'll take. To guess 100 number, computer is taking 152 attempts. Is it right? 20 attempts, even that
That's
is more than what
strange.
we took. What is the problem here? 175 attempts. To get, even if you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you should guess in maximum 100 attempt, right? Even if it is 100. Why
Yeah.
is computer taking so many attempts? What is the problem here?
He has to be like the guesses should be like closer to the random int, like if it is higher, lower.
Yes, it is not implementing the logic of higher or lower. Every time it is guessing between 1 and 100. So it's like this, okay? Let's say number is 35 and random int generated 45. So it will say, okay, you have generated a higher number. Think of a lower number. Think of a lower number, but it doesn't, we have not implemented that logic here, right? It can still think of 65. It's a random number. Even though 45 says is that think lower, still it can go and think 65. Right? We don't want to do that, right? So we have to modify it. So initially 1 and 100 is fine. For the first guess, it's 1 and 100, right? But second guess onwards, the range has to come down. It should be a lower range, right? So initially I can say start.
So Sapni, does it mean
Yes.
that it's like repeating the same number
Yes,
while
no,
guessing?
no. It is repeating the same number. Yes, that's why we said 175, right? So
Yeah.
one thing is it is repeating, and second thing is, you understood, right? If number is 35 and you say 45 first attempt,
Yeah.
I tell you that no, think of a lower number. But there is no logic for it to think lower. You can
Understand
still
that.
think 65,
Yeah.
right? You can still think 65. That's one problem. And second point is, yes, it is repeating also. That's why we get 175. Now, okay. So now if you want to see that, okay, if you want to see that, sorry, I can give the value here. Okay, we can put the guess value here. So we'll put F, and I'll say guess, right? So let's print and see. So first thing first, let's start. So it says 76 incorrect, try with a higher number. So when you say try with a higher number, you expect it to think of 77, 78, 80, 90, correct? See, it is thinking 58,
That
20,
logic is
21.
not implemented. Okay.
Right. Correct? And second thing, what you said, repeated. Yes, I'm sure you'll find some numbers getting repeated. Okay. Because
Yeah.
it doesn't have any logic, right? It will repeat. Okay.
40. Yeah.
Yeah, see, 40 is here, 40 is here, right? 52 also, I think, is repeated. Yes, it will repeat because there is no way for it to know, okay, that, that it has to think within a smaller range now, right? What's the point of hint? Hint is to make your range smaller. Okay, so I'm giving start and stop, okay, 1, 100. So initially it has to be 1, 100. But next time, when you know that, okay, your number is lower, okay, now it says, okay, please try with a higher number. When you say, if I say 15, and you say that, okay, try a higher number, that means your start should now be 16. Right? So you say from 1 to 100 and you are saying 15. I'm saying 15 is a smaller number. Think of a higher number. When I think of a higher number, your lower range should go to 16 now. Right? 16 or greater. And similarly, when I tell you, think of a lower number, in that case, your stop, okay, should become, if it is 75, it should become 75 minus 1, 74. Okay, the higher range should come down, right? So now we are changing the range. See, 9 attempts, exactly same at number. We took 7, right, or 9? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
7. Yeah.
7. Now see, 4 attempts. 4 attempts. 1 attempt. That is lucky, right?
Amazing. Yeah.
7 attempts. It's okay.
Thinking
Then,
like us.
yes.
Yeah.
It says 17, it says, think of a higher number, 96. Think of a lower number, 72. Okay, you won't see that logic going wrong here. So it's saying try with a higher number, then it went 80. It did not go with 70. Right? So yes. So this is how you can modify it based on your logic.
So can you repeat that the start you making it?
Yes. So start
That's
initial
awesome.
value is 1 comma 100. Okay.
Yep.
So first time when you guess it, it has to be anywhere between 1 and 100,
1
right?
to 100. Okay.
You don't know what value it is. So, it could be any number between 1 comma 100. So you start with
Okay.
1 and 100. But after every guess, okay, your start and stop should change, right? So
Yep.
your start is 1 in the beginning. Your start is 1 in the beginning. But if you, let's say 17, right? Now I tell you that try with a higher number. When I say try with a higher number, what does it mean? It means that your lowermost number could be 18, not below 18. No, see, higher number means it could be 18 also, isn't it? So your
Yes.
low or your start number should become guess plus 1. So you are thinking 18 and above,
1 digit. Okay.
right? 18 and above.
That you're making it as start. Okay.
Start is the lower one.
Okay.
Okay. So
And
you are guessing starting from start. That's what
sure.
my logic is. Or you can
Okay.
start
Okay.
for high. Okay.
So the start will be that guess plus 1, but the stop will still remain as 100, is it?
100
What you did?
here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Stop
Okay.
will
Okay.
remain 100 because we are not changing start. Sorry,
Sure.
stop. We are not changing
Okay.
stop.
Okay.
It remains 100. Now you see the second logic. 96.
Yeah.
Think of a lower number. So now it is says think of a lower number. Now in this case, your stop should be
When it is higher, you want to make less than the stop, is it?
right. Correct? Because it says, think of a lower number. Then your stop should come down from 100 to 97. Or 95 rather, not 97, 95. Your ending number should now be 95. You should not think beyond 95 now.
Oh, that gets fixed. Okay.
Right? So we are
Yeah.
changing either your start value or stop value, depending upon what you guess.
Yeah, because the guess number is constant, so you wanted to reduce the start and stop
Yes.
so that it match up with the guess number.
Yes.
Good logic, yeah.
Now you see, next number says 72. 72 says higher number. So, you want to be higher than 72. That means your start number would go to 73 now. You will not think beyond 73, right? You will not think of 50, 40, beyond less than 73. So your ending now, start number should go to 73 now. Your stop is 97 and start is 73. Then now you guess 80, which is between 73 and 97. It says it's a lower number. Okay, that means your stop should come down to now 79.
Got it.
Okay, so this is how you can make. Now let's say I want to see on average how many attempts does it take. Okay, I want to calculate, right? Sometimes we get 4, sometimes it is 1, and this is how we get what we call statistics. Maybe we have this probability, right? So when I say I toss a coin 5 times, okay, when I toss a coin 1 time, the probability of getting head is 1/2, right? But in reality, you never get 1/2, right? You will get either head or tail only. You will not get half head or half tail, right? So what we do, if you toss a coin 10,000 times, if you toss your coin 1,000,000 times, then you get 500,000 head, 500,000 tail. If you toss a coin only 10 times, you might get 7 head and 3 tails only, right? So if you want to know on average, so you say, okay, let me run this entire thing 1,000,000 times. So this is the entire logic, right? And here I will run like for I in range. Okay, I want to repeat the entire game, let's say 1,000 times or 10,000 times. I'm repeating entire thing 10,000 times. So everything will come in that for loop. And I will have one number which will count the exact, how many attempts you are taking. First time will take 4 attempts, second time you're taking 9, then you're taking 1. So I will have a variable called total attempts. I'll set it to 0. And what this does is, this is going to save this attempts. So before you break, total attempts equal to total attempts plus attempt. And when you are outside of the loop, this is when you are done 10,000 times, then I can say print something like this. Average number of attempts equal to, you have total attempts divided by 10,000 times, correct? Isn't it? So this will tell you that on average, how many attempts you take. So first time you might take 1 attempt, second time you might take maybe 10 attempts, right? But on average, how many you're taking? So you're running it 10,000 times, you're running it 1 million times, you're running it, and then you're saying, and you say that, okay, on average, we take about 7.5 attempts to guess this. That's on average, 7.5. Right? So if you scroll up, it will be 10,000 into, 8, right? On average. So it will be 7,500 kind of lines. Right? So, yeah, we say that on average, we take 7.5 attempts to guess. Here you're taking 8, sometimes you might take 9, sometimes you might take 1, right? But on average, we take 7.5. Just like on average, it is 0.5, right? Probability of head, right? But doesn't mean that every time you get half head and half tail, right? Once you get head, once you get tail. Maybe possible that 3 times continuously you may get head. But when you do it very large number of times, you get almost equal number of head and tail, right? Something like that. So on average, probability of getting right is about 1 in 7.5 times.
Here we go,
Okay.
Swapnil. You created a logic.
I just, so I just repeated this 10,000 times. Okay. So you repeat 10,000 times, but you need to save that number also, right? Number of attempts. So I've created a new variable in which I'm putting that attempts. So first time, let's say 0. First time you got it right in 5 attempts. So total attempts becomes 0 plus 5. Second time you take 12 attempts. So it'll be 5 plus 12. Third time you got 1 attempt. So plus 1. Next time you got 5 attempts plus 5. 7 attempts plus 7. 8 attempts plus 8. So you keep on adding, right? So on average, right? How do you calculate average? You add all the values and divide by total number of values. So I'm adding all the 10,000 values and dividing by total values, which is 10,000, right? 0 to 9999. So 10,000 times. So that's what I'm doing average, right? I've added all those values here. This is sum, right? So you add all the values and then you divide by 10,000 times. That's your average. Right, Shiva?
Yes, sir. No, I was also saying congrats. You created a new logic as well, or algorithm.
Great. So we'll stop here, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll take up new topic. Okay.
Sir,
Okay, sir.
sir,
You go ahead, please.
yeah, how do you add, what is the shortcut to add indents?
What is the shortcut to add what?
Yeah, indentation, like you like selected the entire code and put it under for loop.
Okay. So what you do is, okay, let's say I have print. You select, okay, and then you say tab. Okay, so it'll give you indent, or you select and you say shift tab. Shift tab will bring it back. Tab will take it forward.
Okay,
Select and tab, and shift tab will bring it back.
okay.
Okay. Take care, guys. We'll stop for the day and we'll see you tomorrow. Right? Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.